Hey there, scientists. Welcome back to Science with Mrs. Perlin. And last time we left off, we were talking about the flooding problem over at Woodland Elementary School. We made some models because that's what scientists do. They make models when they're trying to figure out solutions to things. And we discovered that the reason that Woodland was having the problem was it's made the surface is solid, right? Carver Elementary, that school with that pale surface, they have a gravel surface, and we realized that the solid surface, there's nowhere for the water to go, it just sort of sits there on the top, and then the gravel, the water can seep down into that gravel and it can escape down below. So I asked you for some solutions to the problem. We had some great solutions. Some friends talked about putting some buckets out. Some friends talked about changing the surface of the playground to gravel, just like Carver. Some friends talked about adding some drains. So let's take a look at some of the possible solutions that we could use for this problem.
So here's our first solution that we could possibly do, which would be to put more trash cans all over the playground with their lids off, and it could catch all of the water, right? So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it rain, and we're going to see what the result is of doing that. So what happened? Did all the trash cans help with the flooding? No, there's still a bunch of flooding, and we just have a bunch of trash cans that are full of water now. Okay, let's see about a different solution, possible solution to this problem. So some people thought that maybe there was lots of flooding because the playground was at the top of a hill and the flooding was at the bottom of the hill. So maybe if we were to elevate the ground somewhat, the flooding would happen at the bottom. We wouldn't have to worry about it around the playground. So let's see what happens with that. So it's rain, and yes, you can see the part of the playground that was slightly elevated is dry, but now we still have a bunch of flooding down at the bottom, right? So if you want to play soccer, you want to play on that end of the playground, might still have a problem with doing that. All right, let's check out another possible solution that some friends had suggested. They said, let's change the surface to gravel, just like Carver Elementary. So now we're going to make it rain and see if that could be a possible solution to the problem. And when it rained, what happened? Trash cans filled with water, but it looks like most of the rain went down into the gravel. We do have some puddles, which you're going to get, but the problem is really solved, isn't it, by changing the surface to gravel just like Carver. Let's check out another possible solution. Some friends said you could put umbrellas up, or you could build a structure and cover the whole playground. That way it can't flood. So now let's go ahead and let's make it rain, and let's see what would be the effect of us putting up this structure to cover the playground. Did the structure help? Structure did not help, did it? The rain just ran down the sides and ended up flooding on the playground again. So the whole surface is covered with water. All right, let's check out another possible solution that some friends had told me about, and that is if we put drains into the surface of the playground, and then the drains, the water would go down the drain, and then we have some pipes underneath it that would carry the water away from the playground. Let's see what happens when it rains. So we're keeping the solid surface, but we're adding drains. Let's see what happens when it rains. What has happened? The water went down through the drains, right? It carried it away. Even with a solid surface, it still kept everything dry. And we do have some little puddles around. The trash cans are full of water, but the drains definitely seem to be a possible solution to this problem also.
So looking at all those solutions, it seems like the best solutions would be either to change the surface to a gravel surface like Carver Elementary, or keep the surface but add some kind of a draining system, right, where we add the drains around the playground somewhere where it can go underground and off to somewhere else away from the playground. So we've done a lot as scientists this spring. We have read, right? We've read books so that we learn more about being a scientist or learn more about the things that we're trying to learn about. We have also made models like scientists. We have compared graphs like scientists. We also have observed with our eyes, more so with your eyes over there because you've been able to touch the things that we normally would in class. Something else that scientists do that's really important is what I'm doing with you, what you've done if you have posted videos back to me on Seesaw, is that you communicate. Scientists communicate their ideas, they communicate what their thinking is all the time. And so that's why we use our explanation framework so that we can communicate our thinking clearly. And so today we're going to communicate through writing. I want to write down what our solution could be for Woodland Playground so that they can take that and save that and then maybe actually do that to their playground. So let's do some writing. So here's my paper and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write Woodland Playground because I want to be specific. If I just say the playground, someone might say, what playground are you talking about? So I want to be specific in saying Woodland Playground. Leave a space and write playground. So Woodland Playground can change our CH like Charlie can change the surface of the playground to gravel. Right, that's one solution that we came up with. That Woodland Playground can change the surface of the playground to gravel, or they could add a draining system. There's the word system, and then put a period. So I just communicated my idea not through just talking, but I also wrote down my ideas. So Woodland Playground can change the surface of the playground to gravel, or they could add a draining system. Why would they do this? I didn't put that down in my writing. They would do this to prevent flooding. So, or they could add a draining system. I need to get rid of this period right here to explain why. To prevent flooding. That explains my thinking even better. So there I went ahead and I wrote this. I can go ahead and send this now to the principals at Woodland, or principal at Woodland, I should say. And then maybe she can start putting this plan into action. I want to thank you for your help. We have one more lesson that we're going to do, which is going to kind of be just a summary of everything that we've talked about. So great job today, scientists, and I will see you in our next and our final lesson.